In this video I'm going to show you how to crochet my petal edging. I designed this edging back in 2015 and I've used it on many blankets since, particularly these traditional granny square style blankets. It seems to really suit this style. For this tutorial I'm going to be using UK terms throughout, and you will need to be familiar with slip knots, slip stitches, chains, double crochets and treble crochets. I would recommend going down a hook size for this edging. I used a 4mm hook with DK weight yarn to crochet the granny square, so I'm going to go down to a 3.5mm hook for the edging. Okay, let's begin. Start by making a slip knot and popping it onto your hook. We're going to begin the edging 3 stitches away from any corner. So find your corner stitch and then count 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then put your hook into the next stitch along. Make a double crochet and 1 chain, and that's going to count as our first treble. Make another treble into the same stitch and chain 1, and make 2 more trebles into the same stitch. So we've made 2 trebles, 1 chain, 2 trebles, all into that same stitch. Now skip 2 stitches along, put your hook into the next stitch and make 2 more trebles. One chain and 2 more trebles, all into that same stitch. So we're going to repeat this again. So skip 2 stitches and work 2 trebles into the next stitch along. One chain and 2 trebles into the same stitch. So we're going to work that repeat all the way along to the next corner. So it's skip 2 stitches and then 2 trebles, 1 chain, 2 trebles into the next stitch. I'm going to get that done along this first edge now, and I'll meet you once we get closer to the next corner. I've now worked all the way along to the first corner. So what we're going to do here is work into your corner stitch 3 trebles, one chain and 3 trebles, all into that corner stitch. And once again you're going to go back to the repeat along the sides. So skip 2 stitches and work 2 trebles, one chain, 2 trebles, all into that same stitch. So continue that repeat all the way along the second side until you get to the next corner, and then in your corner stitch make 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles. I'll see you again when we get towards the end of round 1, and then we can start round 2. I've worked all the way around now and I've just finished my last corner. I'm going to slip stitch into the beginning of the round, so into the first stitch we made, and we're now going on to round 2, which is where we form the petals. So first of all you're going to put your hook into the chain space that you were making on round 1. So that first chain space there, do a double crochet and 1 chain, and that counts as your first treble. We're now going to make 4 more trebles into the same chain space, and this makes our first petal. And the last one, 4. Now slip stitch into that space there, so that's in between what's going to be your petals. Just a slip stitch and then make 5 trebles into the next chain space. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. So we've formed a petal, and now slip stitch in between the petals, and then make 5 more trebles into the next chain space. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, slip stitch into the space between the petals. So I'll just take my hook out so I can show you. So you can see your petals are starting to form now. So in each of the chain spaces along, work 5 trebles, and in between the petals you're needing to do your slip stitches there. So work all the way along that first edge, and then I'll meet you once we get towards that first corner. I've now worked all the petals along the first edge, and I've reached the first corner. So I've just finished the 5 trebles into the chain space for that petal, and I'm going to slip stitch into the gap there. And then in our corner, for our corner petal, you need to work 7 trebles into the chain space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And slip stitch into the gap, and that's your corner petal made there. So round to the second side, and it's the repeat once again. So 5 trebles into the chain space to form your petal. And a slip stitch in between the petals. So I'm going to continue working this repeat around the second edge, along the second edge I should say, until I get to the second corner, and once again I'm going to do 7 trebles into the corner petal, and then continue all the way around until you get to the end of round 2. I'll meet you there. So I'm almost back at the beginning of the round now, and I'm just working my last corner petal. So 7 trebles into that one. And last one, number 7, and then slip stitch into that gap between the 2 petals. Right, you can fasten off now. And that's it, a lovely pretty petal edging for your blankets. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see more of this blanket you can read about it on my blog. I'll put the link in the video information. For more tutorials please visit my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and to keep up to date with what I'm making follow Little Dove Crochet on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, bye!